We often justify our cognitive dissonance when it comes to situations that are a threat to somebody else, but not us, especially when it comes to being separated and geographically isolated from a threat elsewhere. And this is why so many world problems haven't been solved yet, including access to basics like fresh drinking water or even having a safe place to live. And we do the same thing in the cyber world. We consider ourselves immune when a known attack surface doesn't affect us. But we can't hide our heads in the sand forever, because the threat of real violence is now imposed on those that have keys to virtual kingdoms. And that's what leads us to this first story today, where SIM swappers are working directly with ransomware gangs. This is such a serious escalation in cyber war that translates into real-world threat of violence. I mean, just take a look at these screenshots of text messages that were captured recently. Ghost Pulse we all need to be aware of, because it is how hackers are using MSIX app packages to infect Windows PCs. Now, this is a pretty advanced technique because it bypasses the need to steal code signing certificates, since it is sideloading during execution of a signed MSI. So this, needless to say, when we review the attack chain, it should be very clear that the interruption should occur systematically at the C2 connection stage. Here we have a North Korean Lazarus group that targets software vendors using their already known flaws, and it turns out that companies are not very good at applying patches that are already available, so this requires very little research to get a big payday, if the criminal's extractive process can be called a payday, that is. Kaspersky researchers explain exactly how they managed to capture an iPhone zero-day implant. This is a fascinating deep dive, and it highlights, once again, the importance of egress control being the only known defense mechanism against yet unknown threats. And this is another reason in the necessity of an attack surface deduction when we hear about request smuggling that's still happening with compromised F5 big IP devices. And while this weakness can be patched, mitigation before the weakness is discovered is always better. And did you know you can add lower thirds right within Zoom by using SPX graphics as an app within Zoom itself? But as always, keep in mind to read the permissions when you authorize this app. There are both paid and free tiers available. Thanks for watching. See you next week.